Find your mouthpiece and put on your jock straps. It's the Sports Blitz with Doug and Robbie.
Okay, how long is your show?
You guys have such a great setup.
Listen, if you're under a rock or if you're in a cave, come on out and listen to our episode.
It was fun talking baseball. I love talking Red Sox. I love talking coaching.
I don't care because I would rather there not be an MLB season than have to sit and watch the colossal embarrassment.
Hey, hello, I am Bloom. Yeah, it's Doug and Robbie from the Sports Blitz. I just wanted to find out whether you need some pitching.
There you go. In 5, 4, 3.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Sports Blitz. I'm Doug. We have Robbie here. Robbie, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, Doug. Doing great. Happy New Year to you and everybody out there. It's our first episode of 2023. We're finally back in the saddle here in 2023 and could not be more excited for another year of the Sports Blitz. So very happy to be with you as always, Doug.
Yes, very much looking forward to 2023 and what we have in store for the Sports Blitz, and very excited excited and not excited about this episode. I guess you could say good news and bad news, maybe, or something. But we do have. Listen, if you're under a rock, I would suggest you stay under the rock and don't come out. Although, if you want to come out, that's fine. Please listen to us. Come out and listen to us. And of course, we'll talk to you about two other really great podcast that you can listen to also a little bit later. But first, we're going to talk about our sponsors. Our sponsors is Simon Organization, or Simon Organizing. And we also have Wes Woodson. They have re-upped for 2023, and I'm very excited that they are going to continue to sponsor our show, and very excited about both of those sponsors. And
Absolutely.
Yep. So obviously, Simon Organizing is an organizing company. They can help you come and organize all the things that you need organized. It's a drawer, whatever, a closet, that kind of thing.
My life, it's all.
Yeah, Robbie's life, his bedroom, whatever, his sock drawer, something like that. There'll be a link in the description, so please check that out. And also, we have Wes Woodson. He wrote a book on anxiety, and he's out there talking about it, which is really great because a lot of people need to talk about it. It's something that he dealt with in his life, and it's really important that we get it out there because it's super important with the things that we're hearing in the news today. But definitely. So those are our two sponsors. And we're just going to dive right in. And Robbie's going to talk about this segment more than I'm going to talk about this segment.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about
under duress. We're going to talk about under duress.
There's actually there's somebody behind me with a gun to my head because I really do not want to talk about this at all. We're going to talk about the very disappointing season for the New England. The actual football team that we have here in New England. I can't even say their name. I'm so disappointed. Just to talk about them for a few minutes. I'm just going to throw it over to you. I'm going to throw it over to you, Robbie. I think there was a lot of issues that we had this year, a ton of issues. I think we saw some talent on the field, which is really great. And in other places, I think that we saw some Bill Belichick mistakes in a big way. Yes. And then it's just and then it's just a matter of just you didn't know from week to week whether we were going to win or not. It didn't matter what team we were playing. So I'm just going to throw it over to you with. I don't know. I'm just totally disappointed that. What are your initial thoughts?
Oh man,
we've been able to speak about this for at least a week or so because the season's been over for them for just a little bit, but not too much. But
I think for the first time in my Patriots fandom life of watching Boston sports, I was actually partially, if not subconsciously, rooting for a team to lose on Sunday, because I just did not want to see this Patriots team in the playoffs. I didn't think they deserved to be in the playoffs. Just the inconsistency that we saw out of them all season long. It just was so frustrating. Like week in and week out, like you said, Doug, you did not know what you were going to get out of this team. I think that was the most frustrating part. And there were just so many things, both on the field and just from a coaching staff point of view, that you just would see, and it would just leave you just shaking your head like vigorously, like, what are we doing? Like, how is this happening, that this is the product that is being shown right now, and these are the decisions that are being made. There were a lot of injury issues. There was, Mac Jones missed time. You had an offensive line that was basically being pieced together week by week. Just so many different aspects of this team just lacked in consistency, that the whole product was inconsistent. I think you could just see that week in and week out. And it got to a point at the end of the season where even if they had found a way to get into the playoffs, I mean, let's be honest, they weren't going anywhere. They were going to be another one and done. So, like I said, it was almost better that they lost to Buffalo and basically, had their season end there than, maybe picking up one extra game where there's no real expectation, for any potential playoff game. So it just, if it boils down to one word, if I had to sum up the Patriots season in one word, the word inconsistent is, the number one go-to, because that's really what summed it all up. It was just because of all these factors coming together, it just created a really unstable, inconsistent product, and the end results showed themselves to be just that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, when you talk about postmortem, you always have that, okay, you sit down and you try to figure out what's going on. I didn't even want to do a postmortem. I didn't want to talk about this tonight at all. I mean, you have to talk about it as a sports guy who does a sports podcast. So you have to talk about it, whether it hurts
Right.
or not. We're absolute Patriots fans. So it'll live or die from them, but it's more or less that, we watch the games and we get involved, and we've been that way for a long time. We're also used to winning around here. So we're always also used to the Patriot way. We're also used to Patriot Nation. We're all used to, believing in Bill Belichick. In the last couple of years, it's been really, really, really super difficult. And I don't even have to put that in quotes. It's been super difficult to like believe in this, in him, in Bill, and believe in Belichick, and then believe in his coaching staff, which was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
And then to actually, I actually enjoyed watching some of the games, because we saw in some ways some pretty good talent. Even if they lost the game, there were fleets of talent there on both sides of the ball. In three different aspects of the game that Bill always talks about. But the postmortem on this season is just absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
Horrific.
Yeah.
Just it goes from the start of the season, as far as I'm concerned, with the coaching staff. I mean, it's just what you and I could have been coaches and done at least what they did this season. And I'm saying that with a grain of salt, of course, and I don't know, little wink, but still, I mean, I don't think the play on the field was terrible necessarily. I think some of the execution was horrible. I just think that's kind of where it starts.
Well, also the play calling and decision making.
Yeah,
was
that's kind of what I'm talking about too.
Yeah, no, I know,
Yeah.
and I agree with you. 100%.
I was going to ask you. That was my next question to you too.
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, it's like I almost felt like I was watching a live science experiment when it came to the offensive game planning with this 2022 Patriots team, because that's in a sense what you had going on is just this whole, basically offensive coordinator by committee approach with, Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, who to my knowledge have never, been offensive coordinators in their lives. And yes, they've been head coaches, but that's a whole different thing. They really didn't do that great at being head coaches. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I feel bad for I feel bad for the players, but in particular, I feel bad for Mac Jones, because here's a guy who had a pretty good rookie season. I mean, he got the team to the playoffs. He looked good. And now, obviously Josh McDaniels, ended up leaving to go to Vegas. And now you're thrown into a situation where you, first of all, you would have to adjust to a new offensive coordinator in general, but now you basically got this sort of this dual coordinator by committee approach, whatever the heck you want to call it. And it definitely hurt Mac. You could see just the frustration of him, especially as the year went on. It's just like he was kind of, I think, sort of on the same wavelength as a lot of us Patriots fans. Like, what are we doing? What is this play call? It's 3rd down and 1, we're throwing the ball 20 yards downfield, or it's 3rd and 10 and we're running a freaking screen pass or a halfback draw. What are we doing? Like, who's running the show here? And it just, again, I could go on and on. Just the frustration. I mean, this basically my frustration, my ranting right now is basically what Doug and I would send together over text message every single game, I feel like, because it's just like, what are we doing? Like, it just there was no rhyme or reason to the strategy or the game planning, and again, it showed on the final product.
Yeah, it absolutely did, and it was difficult. It was difficult to watch at times, if not most of the time. I mean, you were like this most of the game, going, "What's going on? What's happening?" Because you just didn't know. You're right about the inconsistency, but I think some of it. I mean, obviously, some of it's the coaching. Some of it is execution. How are they executing the plays? Are they executing the plays the right way? I thought in some of the games the defense played fairly well. There were other times that I was like, they played a horrible team on paper, not just they played a horrible team, and I was like, where is the defense? What is going on? Are they running the wrong defensive plays?
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one person that I could think about, obviously, a Pro Bowler, but Matthew Judon is probably the only person that I could think of, the only player that I could think of that was at least consistent in his play throughout the whole season. The other one that I can think of, I'll think of him in a minute. But
McCourty?
Yeah, not really McCourty. I mean, I'm just thinking defense.
Close. I mean, I think McCourty was close.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably right under Matthew Judon, and I think around that same area is again where the coaching and inconsistent play and execution. I don't understand why there was that, because that's not a Bill Belichick team, though. So I'm trying to figure out where this is coming from. I just don't know. I just have no idea.
I
obviously,
know, yeah.
Bill made the wrong decisions in his. Is he calling the plays? Is he calling offense and defense? What the hell does he need a coordinator for? Typically, what happens? This is typical. The times that they've won, the times that the periods of years that they won. Look at all the years that they won championships, AFC championships, Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Look at all those. Yes, we had Tom Brady, but besides that, look at what we had. We had a consistent and absolute offensive coordinator. It was a person who
Yes.
actually ran the offense, actually knew what he was doing. Then you
Yep.
had a defensive coordinator that did exactly the same thing, which is to
Mhm.
run the defense and run. And then Bill would run the whole thing, but he would trust in his two guys and his two coordinators. And then of course you had other coordinators, the the quarterbacks coach and running backs coach and stuff like that. But he would run the general thing, but he didn't really have to run it as much because of the guys that he had in place that could run it for him. He made the complete mistake this year of putting two people in a position where it wasn't right. It
That's
wasn't
right.
right. How do you you're absolutely right. How do you justify the plays that you just said on those calls? How do you justify and then either not doing it correctly, not executing it the right way, or doing it and not getting first down, or doing it and not? I mean, how do you justify the play if that's what the play should be? It just I'm just absolutely dumbfounded. I'm more doing this postmortem because I want to cleanse myself of this particular year, and look
Just want to
hopefully
throw
forward
it
to
right
next
out
year.
into the abyss, and just
right.
throw it off the mountain.
That's
just
right.
go
And
like,
we also
goodbye.
won't talk about the Twitter guy on there that's talking about that Mac Jones went to, that guy Simon. He was the one
Oh
that
God,
predicted
yeah,
DeAndre Hopkins would be here.
yeah.
Remember we tweeted we
Yeah,
we
I
were
know.
texting
Yeah,
about that. How I was
that's why
he just
you can't buy into the rumors because
he sent another tweet out tonight. It was just about the same thing. Said my sources say that Mac Jones will not play another game in a Patriots uniform. I just think, how can he? I mean, I guess you could say whatever you want on Twitter, but how do you? Who are your sources, dude? And then what's funny? I like to read these things because Twitter just goes nuts all the time. I like to read the comments after that. I like to read the comments after that. The comments were great. It's like, yeah, so we can pick up a 2023 draft pick. That's actually an actual QB. I mean, all kinds of terrible, nasty things. But I digress slightly. But if you ever want to laugh, you feel a blue one day, just get yourself a Twitter account.
Hey, listen, you and I were having a big discussion before we came on air about Twitter and just the comical / just abhorrent things you read on that website day in and day out. It can both make you laugh, cringe, cry, just want to throw your phone out a window, all in one tweet. I mean, it's literally just those emotions just could be from one tweet in and of itself. I mean, it's just that's the social media world we live in these days. I'll tell you, but no, you're absolutely right.
No, exactly. But hey, listen, you want to laugh, you want to you have to treat it like that. Don't treat it seriously. You and I talked about this. You and I talked about I only listen to insiders. I don't listen to people that aren't insiders. Yeah. And we know who the insiders are.
Right.
I have them. I have them specifically on Twitter. I have from every sport. I know who the insiders are. So I only listen and look at what they say, because what they say is probably more accurate than anybody else just trying to make a name for himself or trying to say something that's just totally outrageous just to get people to chime in, which is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, my final thoughts. This is my final thought. I have to do a final thought on the Patriots because I just can't. My stomach is churning right now, so I can't. Anybody have any Tums or anything? Anybody Tums? I just
somebody get Doug an antacid,
yeah. Like anybody got an antacid? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad.
No,
but what it comes down to is that my final thought is that every single year since Bill Belichick has been here, Bill and Robert Kraft have a meeting at the end of the year. No matter where they are, doesn't matter whether they won the Super Bowl, whether they did what they did this year. They have a meeting. And what comes out of that meeting is that Robert Kraft said, look, unacceptable.
Yeah.
Absolutely unacceptable year. We need to do something about it. So I guess we're going to have to see what they do and see what they can come up with.
Yes.
I don't know what that is. I know that there are some guys I'd like to keep. I guess nobody's guaranteed to stay, but there are some guys that, and we could talk about the quarterback, and the fact is that, you could talk about all kinds of stuff. Derek Carr just got let go from the Raiders. I mean, there's lots of different things that you could talk about. I think that, and this is my personal opinion, is that I'd like to mourn the season.
Yeah.
And then as it comes up, like really during the summertime, as things start to progress, and then training camp and that kind of thing, is when, you and I can kind of start really talking about the changes, what's going on, what did Bill do, the draft, what happened, all this kind of stuff.
Right.
But that's kind of my final thought, is I'm kind of like, I'm kind of sending it out.
Yeah.
I don't know what that action is, but it's kind of like sending it out. And we'll see what happens in the coming months. That's my final thought on it. What's your final thought on this lovely Patriots season?
My final thought is very simple, and this is gonna be the final thing that I say, because obviously the final thought. So I don't even know why I need to preface it with that, but
doesn't have to be. I'm just saying that's mine.
No. I was questioning my own word choice there, because saying you're doing a final thought, saying it's a final thing, the only thing you're going to say is kind of, I don't even know what the word is, but anyway, I digress. If the Patriots do nothing else this offseason, again, I hope this is the only thing that they do this offseason, but at the bare minimum, they need to hire a true offensive coordinator. Like, period, end of story. Cut the clip right there. It's like, if they do nothing else, they need to hire a true offensive coordinator and stop with this crap science experiment of offensive coordinator by committee. Go out and get somebody that actually knows how to call a damn play on offense, and stop with all this just BS, like trying to piece it together. That's my final thought. Hook, line, and sinker is just, at the bare minimum, hire an OC, and the rest, you're right, Doug, will sort of take care of itself as we go further into the spring and summer here. But the last message I have for the Patriots is hire an offensive coordinator. So that's all I got.
Totally makes sense. But hey, Robbie, my phone's ringing, so hold on just a second. Yep. Oh, yes, Bill. Hey, Robbie, it's Bill Belichick. Hold on. Yep. What?
Hire an offensive coordinator.
What? Oh, you're looking for one. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, by the way, your season sucked. No, I mean, stink. It was kind of, it wasn't that good. Yeah. Robbie's available, I think. Yeah. Just give him a call. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So, but take care, Bill. Bye. Have a good rest of your winter. Bye. So I don't know. That could be you never know. You could see that face over there. Robbie Johnson is the new offensive coordinator. He's slowly moving out of the screen. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Like, no.
Yeah. No. Don't tell him I'm available, please. Don't tell him I'm available. Oh my goodness. Oh my. So it's one of those things where Bill just has to decide what he's just going to change things around. And now that he talked to Robert Kraft, he knows that he's got to change it around. The Patriots have a great owner. They have a coach that's been proven. So let's let him prove it now. It doesn't seem like he can win without Tom Brady, and then it's one of those things where he's got to prove that he can win without him. So he hasn't been able to do that. But great ownership, and it is what it is. But speaking of great ownership, I'd like to talk about a team, two teams that are actually doing exceptionally well. And have us on the edge of our seats every time we see them play. Both teams are playing tonight, by the way.
One's winning and one's losing at last check.
Okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. But speaking of great ownership, we're going to jump right over to Wyc Grousbeck and the Boston Celtics. We're going to talk about them first. And just like what is happening? I did not, and I will tell you right up front before I get into the questions for you, Robbie. I'll tell you up front. I did not. I know they have talent. I know that they have talent. I know they got some. Brad Stevens got some talent. And changed the roster just a little bit here and there and I think he's still got some things, maybe ramped up in his mind. But my thought, Amy Udoka gone, Joe Mazzulla in. I don't know whether they have confidence in him or not. I think they do. He's assistant coach for them while Amy Udoka was here. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they went to the NBA Finals last year, and I'm like, there's no way with all this controversy that they're going to be able to get over this and be able to do this. And all of a sudden, I'm like watching these games, and I'm like, win. And then they don't have Robert Williams. And then Danilo Gallinari goes down. Reverse that. But what I'm saying is that they were both out, and all of a sudden they're still winning games. How are they still winning games? What is this? This wasn't the plan. And I don't have any idea. I am dumbfounded. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. So Robbie, just to ask you this first question, like right up front, what is going on?
No, you're 100% right. I was right with you. I know, the last episode we did, which seems like eternities ago now, when we had our new buddy Ian on, talk about the Celtics, is we talked about just this whole idea of with Ime, being suspended for the year, Mazzulla having to step in and all that distraction. Like a lot of us, you and I and Ian, when we talked to him included, were concerned that distraction would lead to at least a slow start to the season. We didn't think that we necessarily need to write off the season by any means, but we thought at least that this team would it could potentially cause this team to sort of come out of the gate slow. But they certainly did not do that. They've started off high, and at least as of right now, they have continued to play high. Minus a few clunkers of games here and there, like Oklahoma City, which we won't get into any further than me just mentioning it. But it's been amazing, and they've had guys, miss time here and there. Marcus Smart has had a couple of injury issues. Al Horford has, had to miss some games with, he deals with, rest his back or whatever seems to be ailing him at this time. I don't know. I can't keep track of it all with him. Rob has had to still miss some times coming back from his surgery. I know Jaylen Brown, it was announced today, he might miss a week or two with an injury. But they keep seeming to find ways. And it's been so impressive to watch. And it's so much fun. And every night when the Celtics are on, you tune in just excited to watch them play basketball. Even if they lose that particular night, you know that they are going to give you just an A+ effort night in and night out. And it's like I said, it's just so much fun to watch. And it was a bit unexpected. I mean, obviously we hoped that given that they were in the finals last year, that they would use that as motivation to try to get back there. But this, I don't know if anybody saw this coming. I mean, best record in the NBA right now. Heading into tonight on a 4-game winning streak.
Yep.
I know they were up on Brooklyn at half last time I checked. I don't know how they're doing right now, but it's been great. And it's just been such a pleasant surprise, and they just don't show any signs of slowing down. And I hope they don't slow down. But I mean, right now it's just, it's just so much fun. It's fun basketball is what it is.
Yeah, by the way, I just checked, they are leading in the third.
Good. Against Brooklyn, by the way, who's like right behind them for first place. So this is actually a pretty big game in terms of a conference play. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, and you had mentioned the OKC game, and the fact is that there was, I read some things the next day because I was just like dumbfounded. I was just like, what is going on? You guys can beat, all these teams, and all these games, and then all of a sudden Oklahoma City, which is an up and coming team. They're not a bad team.
No.
They're not a great team, but they're not a bad team. So when you come to Oklahoma City, they all mention they took them too lightly. They just took them too lightly. And the fact is that I think, this is just my personal opinion, is that they all kind of got together and said, hey, listen, we have a goal, and the goal is not just to get back to the finals. The goal is to win it. And this is the only way we could do it, is play together. Now, you could tell when they're not playing together. You could tell when they're taking teams too lightly.
Yeah.
Because they don't play well. It's really with every team, but with this team very specifically, they should be able to, with the talent that they have, if everybody's healthy, with the talent that they have, they should be able to beat any team in the NBA.
Yes.
They do take teams lightly because they go in thinking, we should be able to beat these guys, no problem. OKC didn't have their
very good
point guard.
Why am I blanking on his name? But no, you're right. Yeah, they did. They weren't even at 100%.
Correct.
In that game, and they still put up 150 on us.
Right. Which is absolutely unacceptable. And I think they understand that. I think they know that. There's been some little things when they first started, talking to the refs and talking back to the refs and all kinds of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, there's issues.
There's a latest thing which is actually kind of cool, not a bad thing, but I guess they who was it? Oh, Grant Williams. Grant Williams sent a text to the whole team, and the text was basically like guys, we got to get it together. We got to do, this little pump up text that went to like the whole team. And it's like, you can't stand up. You have to text the team. You can't stand up like in a meeting and tell them like before a game or something. You have to text them. I mean, hopefully they weren't playing the game, because I guarantee they don't have their phones in their back pockets. So I just think it's, some of the stuff that they do is kind of interesting and kind of funny. Wanted to ask you, I know that they have a roster spot now. They sent the center.
Vonleh.
Vonleh. They said
Vonleh,
Vonleh to San Antonio.
Yeah.
San Antonio is actually going to waive him too. That they're not interested in having him, but it was a way of kind of getting rid of some of the salary, and they had to pay him full. His salary would have been guaranteed, and they decided to basically waive him, which I thought was a good idea because he's really not playing, not because he's a bad player necessarily, but he just wasn't playing. It's not a spot for him. But they do have a roster spot available. I think they're close to being under the tax right now. I don't think that really matters. I mean, Wick had said, I don't care what the hell you do, just do it. Whatever money we have to spend. That's wait a minute. That
sounds a bit different
versus
than
another
owner I know
team
about. Yeah.
in this area that says something different. We won't talk about that team right now, but still, I don't want to get Robbie all upset. He will
Just
get
to
upset.
no, hold on. I'll tell you. No, you know that just by you even insinuating it is going to just put that look of just absolute disdain on my face. So don't go
Really?
say, oh, I don't want to bring it up, because even by just mentioning it, it's going to cause me to
I didn't even mention. I didn't even say the name. I just inferred that there was another team out there that doesn't necessarily want to pay for play. See, I can't even say it. Can't even pay for players, and they just don't want to. Okay,
hey, listen,
fine.
they just paid for.
Okay.
Hey, listen. Well, hold on a second. Hold on. I can't say that fully because they did just pay for somebody, at least. So I mean, they at least
but
paid.
Robbie, there is, just like we talked about before we started, there is absolutely no money left for anybody else. Okay, the money
True,
is gone.
no.
They're paying guys with baseballs, with rides at the cart, with throwing out the first pitch. I mean, this is how they're paying players right now, because there's no money left. Anyway, besides that's definitely a whole show that we can totally do.
Yeah, we don't know about that can of worms.
Yeah, talk about Robbie rant time. That's going to be Robbie rant show. Is what that's going to be. That's going to be a whole show with
the whole hour. Just talk with
whole hour of Robbie ranting.
Just let me go, and I'll
right. Exactly. So what it comes down to is they do have a roster spot that's open. Do I think they need, one or two more players? I think they probably do, and the reason I think they do is because of what we're kind of dealing with right now, which is getting Robert Williams III back to starting, getting him back in slowly. You got the Al Horford, who we got to save for the playoffs. We need somebody to go in and do his time. I'm sorry to say this. I'm probably the only person that's going to say this. And somebody's gotta come on with me, and I will have an absolute conversation about Grant Williams. Okay. Grant Williams has these little spurts of all of a sudden he hits like 5 threes in a row at one game. And all of a sudden everybody goes, oh, Grant Williams. Woo-hoo-woo. Okay. No consistency at all. Okay. I'm sorry, but there's no consistency at all. I still think that they need to get a backup center. I think Cornette's okay. I just don't think he's the guy. Although they think he's the guy, which is fine. He's been playing much better than he played last year. So I will give him that for the 3.5 minutes of this every game, whatever. Al Horford, we have to start putting down his time a little bit, because if we don't, he's going to be a mess for the playoffs, a mess. And we need him for the playoffs. We need him to be rested.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, we are very guard heavy right now. So I'm not looking at grabbing a guard. Pritchard hasn't played a lot, but again, don't know. Brogdon's been out a little bit, although Brogdon just had a 20-point night. I just think that there is a roster spot. I think they're going to use it. I just don't know if they're going to get somebody from the outside, or they may bring somebody in from Maine. which is even more possible because there's like 3 guys up there, Kevin Gelly, and there's 2 other guys who are actually doing really, really well there. I'm not saying they would do really well here, but again, I think we do need to start to bring some of the minutes down for some of these guys. So as we get to the playoffs, they can be rested. I think that's one of the reasons why we didn't win last year. I think we were burnt. I think we were crisp. And we need those backup players to be able to come in and give the rest and sustain the game as we go on. So we don't have to burn out Tatum and Brown and Smart, and even Robert Williams III, because we when you get tired, you may do something that's not good and you may get hurt. So you gotta. That's what I think, and I don't know whether that's going to happen or not, but I think it is. Whether we should get rid of Pritchard or not, I don't know. Whether he could be a trade chip. Everybody's talking about Hauser too, and Hauser has cooled off. Everybody's like, "Oh, Hauser, he's so good. He got 5 threes." Yeah, in one game. Well, I don't understand why we're talking about Hauser's like the next Larry Bird.
But hey, listen, he makes a great Gordon Hayward doppelganger. Let's not oversell that.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. The issue is that they're coronating Grant Williams and Hauser like they're the next coming of Bill Russell and John Havlicek, and I don't think that's true. Do I think they're pretty good? I mean, even Hauser, do I think he's a pretty good player? Yes, but he hasn't proven anything yet. He hasn't proven that he can be consistent. Grant Williams, the same thing. Do I think Grant Williams plays great defense? Absolutely. I think he does. But what happens? You've seen these games. What's your name again? Robbie. You see. I'm
just over here. I'm just over here.
You absolutely see these games where if Grant Williams is guarding somebody like a center, which he does sometimes, or a power forward that's 4 or 5 feet over him because he's a little short for the power forward, he can handle them physically, but it's like Kareem. Remember Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? It's like, or Magic. It's like those 2 guys versus Grant Williams.
Okay.
Versus Grant. LeBron is a strength guy down low if he goes down low, which is great. So is Williams. Grant Williams is a strength guy down low, but he can't cover LeBron James. He just can't. He can't do it because of his height. So my feeling is that like the coronation of these, let's put them on a pedestal already. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're playing well, but there are some guys that are pretty inconsistent. So, I mean, I don't know what your feelings are on that. I just went through a whole. I just see stuff, and I'm like,
I don't think I need to add anything more. I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, I'm in agreement with you. For the most part, I honestly don't have anything more to add because I think you just kind of I mean, first of all, you're our Celtics guru, so I'm not surprised. But secondly, I think you gave it such a good synopsis. I don't even think I need to. I don't even think that I should try to follow that up because I think you summed it up so perfectly that I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Sounds good. I do think, however, and this is a really good point by some of our local guys. I think Ashraf Blakely put this into focus just within the last few days or so. I think we found our third shooter. I do. And we've had him all along. And I don't think he's been utilized in the way where he should be utilized more. And I think that's Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon had a 20-point night a few nights ago. I think that he is capable of being our third shooter, capable of getting 15 to 20 points a night if they put him in. They got to put him in.
Brogdon's fun to
give
watch.
Marcus. Yeah, give Marcus Smart a
I've
rest.
loved watching him since we got him this offseason. I mean, he
is fantastic, man.
Yeah.
But they have to utilize him.
Right.
They have to utilize him. And he is chill, man. You notice how like Grant Williams, like bring him up again. Grant Williams goes nuts every time the whistle is blown. And sometimes even if it's for him, the whistle blows, he's like, dude, it's a foul for us, not a foul on us. It's a foul for us. Oh, okay. He just gets upset. Malcolm Brogdon's like, chill all the time. I go out, I play the game. I don't get flustered. I don't get upset. Whatever's called is called. Bing, bang, boom. Oh, hello, 15, 20 points. He's a great passer too. So, I mean, I just think they're not utilizing him enough, and they have to look at that game again and figure out how they utilized him and see if he can give Marcus Smart a rest. See if he can give one of the Jays a rest. Put Malcolm in for them. I mean, for one of them at a time. It's fine. We can get points that way, but they got to utilize. But I think we found, and I think Asherrod Blakely, who's a Celtics insider, I think he's right. I think we might have found our third shooter, but you got to utilize him in a way where he can go out there. And the reason he's got 6 points a game is because he doesn't play enough. They have to put the Jays in, and then the Jays, by the time Jason Tatum gets to the playoffs, he's going to be dust. And they can't do that. They got to spread it out a little bit more. You can put Pritchard in. That's fine. Derek White has been a little bit more inconsistent, like in the last, I would say 4 or 5 games, but playing fairly well this year. And I just think that's true. But you got to utilize them. You got to give these guys some rest now. Or not now, but soon.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I have 2 sort of closing points on the Celtics, and obviously we just entered a new year, and everybody always likes to do the New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. So I'm going to call these my 2 New Year's resolutions for the Boston Celtics in 2023. And I think you'll appreciate this because I keep texting you about both these things on a game-by-game basis pretty much. Is that number 1, stop jacking up so many damn threes. It's like every time we get out to a big lead, instead of doing what we've been doing to get that lead, we just start being like, okay, we're just going to, shoot and shoot and shoot and just keep shooting threes. And then guess what? The other team starts getting back into the ball game because of that. Why do you think we have such a hard time? One of the weaknesses of the Celtics this year has been closing out games. Why? Because they get away at the end of games, especially when they have a big lead, from what got them there. Instead, it's just like, oh, let me take a 3 10 seconds into the shot clock when there's absolutely no reason for me to do so. It's been driving me crazy, Doug, as you know, for years. Man. And maybe 2023 finally they'll get out of this mindset of, oh, we just need to start jacking up threes just because. I don't even know. There's no rhyme or reason for it. Just because they just felt like it on that particular day. And the second thing is, you kind of alluded to just a minute ago, Doug, can we stop whining to the officials so damn much? Can we just shut up and play basketball? It's ridiculous. Tatum, Williams, everybody, when they feel a little bit of contact, they stop playing after the shot and basically spend 5 seconds just yelling at the official when the other team's got a 3-0 break going down the other way. It's like, enough already. You're not going to get the call if you do that. In fact, you're even less likely to get the call if you whine like that. Shut up, get back on defense, and play basketball. Like, it drives me absolutely crazy. That's the one thing that I cannot stand about Tatum in particular, is that he whines so dang much to the officials. It's like, okay, you didn't get the call. Tough luck. Get back on defense and just, move on to the next play, because guess what? It's not going to change anything. it's probably going to make the officials even be less on your side. And now we're a man down in the defensive end because you want to just go, whine and mope, halfway down the court. So those are my 2 New Year's resolutions, Doug, for the 2023 Boston Celtics is once and for all, stop taking so many threes and stop whining to the officials is just, it's those are the 2 things that the Celtics do nothing else differently in 2023. I would love to see a Celtics team that didn't live or die by the 3 and didn't live or die by complaining about every little call against them.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's interesting how you say about the threes. I agree with that also. The fact is that the NBA has changed and it's like, everyone wants to see these threes. Everyone wants to see these unbelievable threes from way out. Okay, why don't you take a little playbook?
But you got to make them.
No, absolutely. No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying the NBA has like moved from even dunking, although the dunks are pretty impressive these days, but moved over from the dunking era to now the threes era. And I totally get it. It's a totally different game than it was, even in the 50s. Oh my gosh, I wasn't around, but it's just one of those things where I know that each era has its own kind of thing. 3-point line came in, went. Well, okay, there you go. So I totally agree with that. My final thoughts is that they have to get a couple of people, couple of players to come in. If they don't do that, then that's okay. I don't have a problem with it, but I would like to see them get a couple of players to be able to come in and be able to take some of the time to keep it consistent, keep it straight, keep it like when they come in and we got a 10-point lead. I'm not talking, okay, it's tied up now. I'm talking, you got to keep that lead or make it even more. And like to see Brad Stevens do something with that. But I also like to see the team start giving some of these starters, some of these major players, some rest, a little bit of rest here and there, just so they can, not right now, but in the coming months, just so we're not just like taxed for the playoffs. Cause I think that's what happened. And again, we played, what was it, 2 7-game series in the playoffs too. So that didn't help.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
That did not help at all. No.
But you got to be up for those. So that's what I'm looking for them to do. And again, stop talking about the refs. Stop talking to the refs. Stop talking about them. I don't care about the texting or anything like that. But if you're gonna say something, say it in front of everybody. I don't think you have to text your players. You're like with your players, like 20 hours out of the day. What the heck are you texting for?
Yeah.
But that's all good. We all thought it was funny. So it was just a kind of a funny situation. But anyway, that's my kind of final thoughts on there. To talk about another team that's actually playing tonight also is what I have on my cap right here is our good old Boston Bruins, who are actually, wow. I mean, they're like doing the same thing the Celtics are doing, maybe even better in that respect. Although the last I saw, they are kind of losing tonight. But
yeah, they're losing 2-0. This would actually be if they cannot get it back tonight. They'd actually be their first home regulation loss of the entire season, and it's already into mid-January. So it's like,
right, yeah, they've had an incredible record at home. I just kind of wanted to bring up them for a few minutes. We did have the Winter Classic here at Fenway, which was really cool to watch. I thought they played well. Unfortunately, DeBrusque got hurt. But that's a big loss. But we're trying to kind of work it out. Well, we got 34-year-old Wagner that came up, and then we had to be traced back down. And we have I think his name is Kopanen, Lulu. He's Swedish. I don't know. He's a Swedish guy. He's supposed to be really good. He's been playing great at Providence. Anyway, he came up. I know we got some little side injuries, like Nosik is playing hurt, and there's a few other guys playing hurt, but it's just been it's been a hell of a ride so far. It's been unbelievable. And if you hear any oohs and ahs in the background of where I am, we have the Bruins guru who is actually watching the Bruins in the other room. So if you I can hear it. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but every once in a while you might hear her in the background. Just kind of crazy. But yeah, I just want to get your thoughts on a continued really cool Winter Classic and just get your thoughts, your initial thoughts on what the Bruins are doing this year.
It has been fantastic to watch. It really has. I mean, I just I don't even know if I saw this coming, but I've loved every minute of it. I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, I didn't know what to expect about this Bruins team coming into the season. And yet here we sit, like I said, in, basically getting into mid-January, they're 9 points up on the next closest team in their own conference or in their own division, I should say. And that's the smallest differential between them and any other team points wise in the entire league right now. I mean, they're playing so well. Obviously tonight they are losing at home to Seattle, who I guess is on like a 5-game winning streak, so not a slouch by any means. But yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's been sort of all the way up and down the roster. Guys have been contributing. I mean, you obviously, look at the big names like Pasternak and Marchand and Bergeron and all those guys, but you get, just night in and night out. I mean, we talked about DeBrusk before he got injured. He was playing, just this very impressive, role and their success. And, all these other guys who, you just don't know night in and night out. All these guys have the ability to, make contributions and to help this team win. And it's just been fantastic. Yeah, I thought the Winter Classic was great. I mean, obviously, the last time the Bruins were in a Winter Classic was at Gillette a few years ago, where they got absolutely stomped by the Canadians. So definitely was a much better result this time around. To get a win, their second win in a Winter Classic at Fenway.
Yeah, and even better, the Canadians are really not a good team this year. Sorry, Kyle.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, I'm not sorry, but yes, you're right.
I'm not either.
No, not at all. Yeah, I just really love what I'm seeing out of this team, and I just truly hope that they can keep it going. The goaltending has been great, whether it be Swayman or whether it be Allmark. Allmark, yeah.
Allmark, yep.
Allmark, thank you. I was like, I knew I was going to butcher it too. As soon as I started saying it, I was like, that's not right. I do love. Good. Can I just say I do love the new sort of tradition that has been established by those two. The post game hug when after they win. I think that's absolutely amazing, and I look forward to seeing the clips of it online after each game or even just on the broadcast. So. But yeah, I mean, there's not much more for me to say than it's just been so much fun to watch and so impressive. And even even when this team gets down in a game, you feel like they're never out of it, which I think is just so impressive. It just wow is sort of the word that consistently comes to mind when I'm watching this team. It just like win. And I think that could describe my feelings towards the Celtics and the Bruins performances so far this season. And you just hope that it keeps up, for both teams. You don't want to, see any potential sort of fading down the stretch, which I don't think we're going to, because it's when it comes to the Bruins specifically, it's just really fun to turn them on every night and know that you're going to get, at the very least, a battle out of them night in and night out. They may not win every game. I mean, they're not going to win every game, but you're at least going to get a battle out of them. And some times in years past, you've questioned that with these Bruins teams, and this year, it's fun. It is just really to sum it all up. It's a fun team to watch, and I'm just very excited to see what's going to come out of these next few months here, going through the rest of the season with this team.
Yeah, I also think that some of the stuff that they've done has been because of our new coach, Jim Montgomery, who has really come in and instead of, Bruce Cassidy had a certain way, and his way was, I want to play more veterans than new guys, than younger guys and stuff like that. He kind of, it was Cassidy had that where he played, where he was able to play young guys with older guys, with veteran guys, I should say, not older, for veteran guys. The issue is that I'm not sure if the lines were necessarily appropriate. I thought Cassidy did a great job, so I have no complaints over Cassidy right now. There obviously needed to be a change. I'm not sure where that came from, but I have a feeling that there were some veteran players who were not real happy with the decision-making that Cassidy made. And I think there was a meeting, and I think that's what happened. But Jim Montgomery walking in and saying, you know what, this is the way we should do it. This is the way we should play. Bringing in some of the younger guys who are very fast with some of the veterans who still have it. They may not be as fast, but they're we're talking Patrice Bergeron, who's still very, very good.
Yeah.
Amazing, in fact, in some ways. But you bring some of these, AJ Greer, and you bring some of these younger guys in, Lewin Koponen. You bring in some of these younger guys who have been doing well down in Providence, and you bring them up, and they're able to help. It's all about being fast today. If you look at hockey from, the Bobby Orr era, even the Cam Neely era, that the hockey was not played slow, but it was slower. Today's game, it's all about fast game. It's all about a fast game. And the Bruins had to get there to a point where they're, where they're able to play with some of the really, really good teams out there and actually beat them. And I think Jim Montgomery has done a fantastic job. Actually, the All-Star coaches, little breaking news, the All-Star coaches have been picked. Jim Montgomery is, I guess they're playing in Florida for the All-Star game.
Okay.
And Jim Montgomery is one of the coaches. Obviously, they pick the coaches that have the best records. So
not surprised.
Not necessarily a surprise.
No.
But it's good. It's good to see. It just means that we're doing well. We're not going to win every game. I wish we did, but we're not gonna.
Right.
It's this whole thing, and we could do a whole show about this. It's about, who's going to get MVP. They're talking about MVP all over the basketball, the NBA right now. It's just driving me crazy. I don't give a crap about who the hell the NBA, who's the MVP of the league. I don't care. Yeah. I want the damn trophy. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So when they talk about, who's in first, who's this, who's going to get the best now, I don't give a crap about the damn Vesna, man. I want the damn freaking trophy. That's what I want. I want the trophy. I want the duck boats.
You want the cup.
I want the cup. Yes, that's what it comes down to for me. I don't care about
up to Doug's house.
Exactly. I don't care about the individual stuff. By the way, I do have a picture with the cup. I did get a chance to be with the cup, which is cool. But it's one of those things where I don't care about this individual stats. I care about the team stats and what the team is doing. I don't care about the individual. Sometimes you have to look at that, and I get it. I think they do have some needs in this team.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do need a defenseman and possibly another forward. They definitely need a faster defenseman. And I'm going to tell you right now, and this may shock people, I hope it does. I think they need someone to possibly replace or go in instead of Carlo. Brandon Carlo is not a fast player. He's young, but he's not fast. He's not able to keep up. He's very streaky. He's been streaky since he came into the NHL. I'm not saying he's playing badly. I'm just saying he gets to these streaks where he just doesn't do well. There are games he plays great. There are other games he plays terribly. I think we need somebody in there that's a little bit more consistent, a little faster. There are a couple names out there. I'm not going to mention them because you can just go to BNR and find them. There's a couple. It's been mentioned. Let's put it that way, by other people, by insiders. But it's also, I think that's something that is important. Do you think there's anybody that they need right this very second? I mean, they're doing so well. It's hard to say, oh, they need another piece. But I'm just expecting that there's going to be some more injuries. So with the injuries, we can obviously take from Providence. But again, I think they may need some, maybe one or I think they need an absolute one more veteran defenseman.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, I agree. I mean, I think I will defer to you on that because I'm not in the know as much as maybe I should be on what's out there and all that. I just know that watching what they're doing right now. You're right. The temptation is there to say, oh yeah, they're fine. They don't need anybody else. But we all know that, adding another piece, a lot of times is never a bad thing. So I agree. In terms
I guess Robbie, I'm sorry. I guess I'm talking about like a Lindholm type. Okay.
Yeah.
Watch everybody that listens to this part, you got to watch Lindholm play.
Yeah.
Because he was probably the best get that we could have gotten this year. I don't know why I said it like that. That was weird. Because he's just been playing so well. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily tonight, but he's been playing very well. I keep hearing noises from the other room in there that they're not necessarily good noises.
Oh boy.
Like a Lindholm type. Just so what you could do is you can kind of mix and match. You can play like different guys in different areas. And I think that's something that's super important. It's super important to be consistent, but I think if we get a Lindholm type, it would be better matched up along the whole defensive side of the ice, I guess you should say. But no, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to what I was talking about.
Honestly, you weren't interrupting me because I didn't really have anything to say because I definitely I concur with basically all that you are saying. I do want to point out because while you were talking, I flipped on right as Seattle decided to score an empty net goal. So unfortunately, the Bruins are going to lose their first regulation home game, their first game in regulation at home this season, their first loss in regulation at home this season. But that doesn't change really any of my assessment that we have made on this show. You're going to lose games here and there, and hopefully they can bounce back and win the next one. But yeah, pretty much to sum up, Doug, I'm I'm in complete agreement as to what you're saying, because I really don't have or think that I should add anything on to what was a very, very good synopsis.
No, and again, I think what they are, Robbie, is they're fun to watch. I mean, they're fun to watch. I mean, even they're just a fun team to watch. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Even when they lose, it's fun. It's exciting.
I mean, it's typically a really good game, even when they lose.
But yeah, I mean, it's still overall, it's you're never, it's never like a blowout. Like, you're always in the game, whether it be a 1-goal loss in regulation or an overtime, like something like that. It's they don't have many. I hate to keep using this word, but they don't have many clunker games when when it comes down to it, which is what you want to see out of a team. You want to be excited to watch them game in and game out, regardless if it's win or lose, and that's what you're seeing out of both the Celtics and the Bruins, and Bruins in particular.
Yeah, and by the way, losses at home, 2007, 2008, the world champion Celtics actually lost 1 game at home. So it really doesn't matter. Once you get to the playoffs, the regular season doesn't matter anyway. So, we take our losses, we throw our cap on the ground, and hopefully don't throw too many things at the TV to break it. And that's what my mother-in-law used to do, is throws things at she actually broke, there was a curio cabinet right near the TV, right next to the TV. And she actually took her slipper off. She wasn't even mad at the team. She was mad at a ref. She's mad at a ref, and she got really pissed off. She took off her slipper and threw it. She meant to kind of throw it at the TV. I'm kind of glad that she didn't, but she threw it at the TV and kind of angled it over and broke the bottom glass of the curio cabinet, which is actually a true Bruins fan, if you really want to know the truth. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I do want to I mean, that's really what I got. They're very fun. Both teams, both Celtics and Bruins, are very, very fun to watch. Keep watching them. We'll have more on them as the season goes along. And right now we're at the point where we're going to be doing our final thoughts for the evening on this Celtics Bruins episode, as I did mention that other team, Celtics Bruins episode of the Sports Blitz, with the slowly coming behind, way below. But Robbie, I wanted to kind of throw it over to you for your final thought for this episode of the Sports Blitz.
Yeah, so my final thought is going to be not really it is kind of interesting, because obviously this is our first episode of the new year. And so I thought it'd be fun to do for my final thought is something that if you watch the latest episode of another show that I do, On a Couch Talking Sports, shameless plug, with Kyle and I, which you definitely should watch, by the way. And also you should watch Screen Time with Doug and Kyle. As well, on top of that, some great stuff on YouTube. That's 3 of us in our own variety of ways.
3 of us, 3 shows.
Yes, 3 guys, 3 shows, exactly.
3 guys, 3 shows. 3 guys, 3 shows.
But what I wanted to do is I wanted to give a couple of sort of New Year's sports predictions. That I had 3 of them, to be exact. Prediction number 1, I'm going to go kind of pretty quickly here, so I don't take up like an hour, to sort of talking about all these in detail. But
should I put the clock on? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. That's okay. All good. No, my first one is actually related to the 2 teams that we talked about tonight, and that is that I believe.
Can I guess? Can I guess what you're about to say? Can I guess?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, go ahead.
I think. Let me see. Let me check. I'm not even reading your mind right now. I think you think that these 2 teams, Celtics and Bruins, will not only make it to the finals, but will win their respective finals. Am I right?
So you're close. You're very close. my prediction is actually going to be that they are going to both win the Eastern Conference championship.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I want to go all the way
As
on
far?
saying either or both are going to win the full enchilada. I obviously hope they do, but I do feel very confident, and maybe it's going to come back to bite me in the butt, but I feel confident that both these teams are at the very least going to win the Eastern Conference crowns this season. So that's prediction number one. Prediction number two is actually going to a sport that just wrapped up its season officially earlier this week, and that is college football, and Boston College football, to be exact, because we all know how much I love Boston College and Boston College football in particular. I believe that next fall, that they will win at least 7 games. They went 3-9 this season. It was a down year. They had some injury issues, much like the Patriots. It was kind of weird how many parallels I drew between BC season and the Patriots season this season. So go figure, especially on the offensive line for some reason. But I think that they're going to turn around. I think they're going to use this frustrating year as motivation. And I think they're going to get back to at least 7 wins and make it back to a bowl game next year. It would be my second prediction. And my third and final prediction, this may shock a lot of people, including Doug, is I think that the Red Sox are not going to finish in last place in the American League East, which is something that a lot of people have been kind of, whether it be sarcastically or truly, have been surmising that may be in store for the 2023 Boston Red Sox, given what has happened this offseason. But I don't know. I have this. I'm not going to say they're going to make the playoffs or anything like that. I'm not going to go that far. But I believe that they will, at the very least, finish 4th or above in the American League East in 2023. I know, hot take central right there, for sure. But yeah, I mean, those are my 3 predictions for the calendar year coming up. Will I get any of them right? With my luck, probably not. But it never hurts to hope and to try to prognosticate, and that's what I like to do at times. And so I will see how well I do in those predictions come December and into January of next year. But that is my final thoughts, I guess, for this evening, Doug. So let me kick it on back over to you for your first final thought of the new year. So take it away.
Oh, you kicked it. Okay, so I have 2 final thoughts, as I sometimes do, sometimes don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even have one, but I do have one. I have 2 tonight.
Okay.
First is that during New Year's, we did the anti-New Year's, let's go out and go to dinner and that kind of thing. It was pretty cool because we actually did not go to first night. We actually went, and Robbie's going to be like, now, I don't know if you know, I'm pretty sure you know that we did this because I put it on Facebook. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you know that I did this.
Yeah.
We decided, and actually my daughter was really excited about this. We actually went to the Winter Classic Challenge, which was really, really cool. And it was drizzling a little bit, but the rain didn't stop us at all. So we went there, and it was in Government Center as opposed to Copley, where they had most of the. Yeah. They did have some ice sculptures over there, so it was really kind of cool. But most of the first night stuff was at Copley, and the Winter Classic stuff was just right where, actually, coincidentally, it was in. I'm dating myself slightly, but I did go to the. What they called the rally when the Celtics won the championship in 85. I went to that rally. I was in high school. and did go to that rally, which was fun, like 1 million people down there. And that's pretty much where they had it right there. And it was really, really cool. I mean, we took pictures down there. There were things to do. We didn't do a lot of the stuff, but they had this big, huge air hockey game. It was like the air hockey, but it was an NHL air hockey game. It was ginormous. It was like huge, like this big, huge disc, and it was awesome. They did such a great job. It was a little unfortunate because they actually had a Pittsburgh Penguins goalie, a second string Pittsburgh Penguins goalie who was signing autographs. And we were standing there, we're going, why are there so many Pittsburgh fans in this line? I don't understand what's going on. Oh, that's a Pittsburgh Penguin. And coincidentally, he actually got a chance to play because the first string goalie from Pittsburgh actually got hurt.
I know.
So that second string goalie that came in, I actually saw him. I did not get an autograph because I am not a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, so I did not do that. But I'll tell you, if you get a chance to go to the Winter Classic, it's not even the challenge, it's called the Winter Classic Experience. The cup was down there. We missed it, but we've seen the cup before, so all of us have had a picture with the cup. So the cup was there for a little while, but we came a little bit later. But it was really a great time. I mean, it was really, really fun to do some of the stuff that was there. And it was really fun. The second thing that I have is that I have a congratulations from my alma mater. It was the 80th Golden Globes that just happened. And I'm going to mention Jennifer Coolidge, who is a Emerson College graduate from 1985, won the Best Actress in a Limited Series, White Lotus. She won a Golden Globe, and it's awesome to have my school, Emerson College, represented. We actually had 3 or 4 or 5 actual people from that are in Hollywood right now that have done really great things, that were nominated for Golden Globes. And it was great to see that she actually grew up here. She went to Norwell High School. She grew up here in Massachusetts, and she's fantastic. If you haven't seen her, she's actually on Two Broke Girls also. I'm not sure if that series is still on, but I know that the repeats on.
Yeah, no,
she's on.
I watch it on occasion, like in the mornings on TBS. I know they do like
TBS does them all. Does the Two Broke Girls all the time. Yes, yeah. She's fantastic. She's had a lot of roles, and she's in an upcoming movie that's coming out too. TV series or movie? I don't know. I think it's a movie. So she's in another movie. Anyway, congratulations to all the nominees, all the winners. Jennifer Coolidge, congratulations. And we are at our last ending, I don't know what I'm saying at this point. So please watch us on, we are on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. Please subscribe and hit the bell. We got some interesting content coming up in the future. Please watch On the Couch Talking Sports. Those guys, Kyle and what's your name again? Oh, Robbie. Kyle and Robbie.
No idea.
Kyle and Robbie just recorded a new episode a few days ago. Really, really super good. So catch them. And of course, Kyle and I are contemplating our first episode of 2023. And that's Screen Time with Doug and Kyle. And see us, and you could also get us on a whole bunch of other stuff too. We're going to be on Spotify, we've got Anchor, we're going to be on YouTube, and it's just going to be a great experience in 2023. Very much looking forward to it. And that's it. That's all I got. Robbie, anything?
Just follow us. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. No, sorry, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, here on YouTube. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and again, just one final time, Happy New Year, everybody, and hope everybody has a great 2023 and just keep watching.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for watching this episode. We love the comments. If you comment, please comment, bad or good. We want to know what you think. And we'll see you sometime down the road. We'll see you soon.
Take it easy, everybody.